how do we actually navigate the challenges that are happening around the world first and foremost? And then do we have the wherewithal to connect the pieces in a different way to solve for the constraints that we're facing? Our most recent period of time here, starting in 2018, began with the Section 301 tariffs and the disruption to the flow of goods out of China to the United States. And there were other tariffs that were put in place that affected Europe, 232 and others. But really, the preponderance of that was the interplay between China and the United States, and there were fallouts that occurred elsewhere around the world as a result of that, because we had shifting supply chain, if you will, physical distribution approaches that needed to be considered, and people were trying to figure out how just to do that, because nobody really likes a sudden increase in their cost of goods by 25%. I mean, let's face it. So the second piece of that is that then we had the war in Ukraine, and then following on that a few years later, now we have the disruptions in the Red Sea. And then all the while, in between all of this, we had a horrific human disease hit everyone around the world, COVID-19. So from 2018 and really until where we are exactly today, because now we have a fresh round of tariffs that are stimulated by the White House, but are affecting everybody literally around the world, that supply chains now are in a spot where, are we thinking about just-in-time inventory anymore? Are we thinking about just-in-time triage? Are we thinking about resilience in a different way? And resilience can get overused. But when I go back to the start of the question, the big base of the question is the demographics. Is now I layer on top of that not only shifting supply chain patterns and how things are flowing, but I layer on top of that the core of everything that is needed, and that is talent capacity, talent capability to solve for problems. And the problems we face, and in supply chain, it's okay to say problems because we do solve them every day, right? We hope that we spend most of our time optimizing, but in reality, we probably spend more of our time tackling issues and constraints in the supply chain because there are so many different components and parts, but we always solve it. We always get there. The shelves are always stocked. We always manage that. So I want to preface what I'm about to say by that, because we do have the capacity and capability. But in the end, when I think about demographics, I think about talent. I think about the ability to stand up industries in alternative places that perhaps once were reticent in certain areas, but now need to move somewhere else. So we have a lot of things in flux at the moment, and will be like this probably for the next couple of years as we try to settle into, again, reshaping what we would perhaps like to define as normal. But right now we are in a very uncomfortable spot, very uncomfortable.